Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Happy New Year to everybody. First and foremost, I want to start by offering my sincerest congratulations to Arthur Henry Ricardo Blackman for being recognized in the New Year's honors, who is now a member of the Order of the British Empire. Will Arthur Henry Ricardo Blackman please stand and be recognized? Mr. Blackman, we recognize your accomplishments and we salute you. He is being honored for his significant contribution to broadcasting and mass communications. Now, you see what things has come out? You all know him as what? What you know him as? I ain't know he had two other names in front of that. Arthur Henry Ricardo Blackman. Sounds almost like a king. Sir Arthur Henry. Yeah, we can work on that. The other thing I want to start off by saying is we had our Christmas party about a week ago, 2 weeks ago. And I want to congratulate the organizing committee and everyone who attended the Christmas party. That was a fantastic Christmas party. If you see, it ran like a military initiative. You ate at a certain time. The jumping tents went up at a certain time. Only a certain amount of kids were allowed in jumping tents at a time. They came down at a certain time. At a certain time, the gifts were given. It was run with the military precision, or the precision otherwise accorded to a former principal of one of the best secondary schools in Barbados, who was up front with the organization. But I just want to thank the entire team. We couldn't ask for a better party than that. The children had a blast, and you know how children are, they want another one next month. I tell them Christmas and New Year only comes once a year, so they got a whole strain. We can see what we could do, but I just want to say that was fantastic. I almost wish I was a child. So congratulations to you all. Before we get into the meat of the matter as well, Adrian let the cat out of the bag a couple minutes ago, but I want to confirm that Silver Sands football team is once again being sponsored and is once again the Abrams United Silver Sands football team. And we are back in Premiership where we belong. And Adrian, I do not wish to see us move from Premiership again. Actually, I want us on the podium. I ain't gonna be greedy. I ain't gonna say this year because we're coming in at the bottom. But by next year, Adrian, we need to be holding the Premiership Cup. And then from that, to conquer the world. So I just want to congratulate Adrian and the team for putting the, how you doing, Bishop? For putting the team back where it deserves to be, and to confirm that once again, they're playing under my name and they're sponsored, fully sponsored. So congratulations to the Abrams United football team. The other thing, a lot has happened since the last meeting, as you can tell. The other thing that I want to express my thanks to the Silver Sands Plan and Development Committee, which is overall responsible for the team, is they worked with me and the branch over Christmas, and the Silver Sands Plan and Development Committee donated $3,000 in vouchers. So people who would have gotten vouchers at Christmas, the more vulnerable in our community, from the Silver Sands and Sayers Court area, that would have been the Silver Sands Plan and Development Committee in association with me as the MP. So I want to thank you entirely for that. And it proves something that I always say, look, the community needs to take care of itself. I am the minister now, the MP now, it might be somebody else. But at the end of the day, the community organizations need to move hand in glove with whoever is a representative for the area, because it's not about politics. Community development is about the community. So I am glad that we were able to work together. I look forward to working a lot more with the Silver Sands Plan and Development Committee, because we have lots of plans for the area. And I would like to see more of the other areas in Christchurch East come together in a structured way, in the same way that the Silver Sands Plan and Development Committee has done it for football or for general activities in Silver Sands. So one of the things we need to resolve to do as a unit is to work with all the community groups, and where there are none, let us actually speak to people in those communities to help them to form some. I want this year when we start to play our football games for members of the branch to come out and actually see the following that Abrams United Silver Sands football team has with football in Barbados. I want you to come out and see who comes out to watch the matches and how people support their team. We need to be more relevant as a branch and as a unit to the lives of the people that we represent. So this year, 2020, for me is the year of empowerment. It is the regathering year nationally, but for Christchurch East, as far as I am concerned, this is the year of empowerment. All of my efforts and all of my initiatives this year are going to be concentrated on empowering people. Why? I am tired of going to funerals of young people. I am tired. I have been to so many over the last couple years. I have been to so many in the last 12 months. Young people. I don't want to see another young person in a box where it could be avoided. We need to do our part. We keep getting these reports of violence. I am tired of it. I have no time for troublemakers. There's some people who can be saved, and to be honest, there's some people who are beyond salvation. It is probably not a political or politically correct thing to say. There's some people that you just can't reach them. You can't reach them. The law will have to deal with them. But for all the rest, for those people we see starting to deviate, for those people we see starting to hang with bad company, for those people we see who are starting to get hopeless because things are not working for them, it is our duty to step in and help those people. At the last clinic we had at the branch office, I think we saw 34 or 35 people. 34 or 35 people. 31 were either looking for jobs or looking for some assistance with housing. We know the situation with housing in Barbados, right? The housing stock is not there with the NHC. We know amount of hocus pocus is going to create it if it doesn't exist at the moment. The government is doing what it can, but people need to understand we came out of a very, very difficult time where the government has no money. That is the reality. That is the reality. We are getting the economy back on the right footing. Things are starting to come together for us. When the money is there, the houses will appear. But until such time, truthfully, I can't promise somebody a house. I tell you, put in your application to National Housing, and when things change, I will try to help you to realize your dream. But what can we do in the interim? I asked, a man approached me recently, and he said to me he wanted a job for his daughter. And I said to him, what kind of job are you looking for? He said she's a woman, so maid work. That's what he said. She's a woman, so maid work. His criteria for selection of work or possibilities for his daughter were dependent, A, on her sex, and B, on where she came from. That's one. The second one, a gentleman came into the office last week, or the week before Wednesday, and he came to ask me for a job for his son. I said, where is your son? Well, he couldn't get him to come. But you know, Abrams, I would like a job for him. Let me start now with that. I have no time for people who are wasting my time. Politics is not easy. Being a representative is not easy. It comes at a great cost. I'm not asking for sympathy because I put myself there and ask people for a vote. But I will show you my phone and show you 5 phone calls I got between 2 and 3 a.m. on Saturday morning with somebody who's desperate for a job. 2 and 3 a.m. I understand that man's desperation, and believe me, I will try to do what I can for him, if even just to stop him from calling me at 2 or 3 a.m. Right? There are people who are genuinely in need and require the assistance. But equally, there are some deadbeat people out there who are intent on wasting your time. You have to call it as you see it. This year is the year for empowerment. I am all about helping everybody who is trying to help themselves. If you are not trying to help yourself, then don't come and waste my time. I am probably going to hear all about myself now for having said that, but sometimes you have to call it as you see it. There are many times that my father, when I was growing up, was real tough for me, and I couldn't understand why. And I thought he was the most unfair father in the world. Now that I'm older, I see in many respects the wisdom of the times I did not get what I wanted. I see in many respects the wisdom of tough love and a stern word. Even sometimes a word that embarrasses you and focuses you to think on what it is that you are doing. The majority of people who came to us last week or the week before had no CV. The reality, if you go for any job anywhere, they're going to ask you for a CV. A lot of people had nothing to put on their CV, or so they thought. And I'm thinking, you don't need a certificate if you have a skill. If you have a skill and have been working in a job for a certain amount of time, then that is something worthy of being put on your certificate, on your CV, because that's job experience. And it made me realize something. There's a disconnect. There is a disconnect between those who know in Barbados and those who don't. And sometimes people are in the position that they're in, not because they don't have the skill to take themselves further, because they don't actually know some of the things that we know. We have to be more relevant. I smiled. Somebody's doing something that's buzzing. I smiled when Ricardo talked about taking our meetings and taking our message out into the communities, because Ricardo, you are entirely right. You are right. We can't sit down and assume that people are where they are because they've exhausted every option. We sometimes need to reach out there and make ourselves relevant. We have a branch meeting every single month. We are perhaps the branch in Barbados that has the most regular meetings out of any branch in Barbados. I came and found it that way. It has been that way. We have the most regular meetings. But every branch meeting cannot be about the business of the branch. Each meeting we have going forward should have, in addition to the political speak, it should have something that is relevant to progressing and empowering people. At the next meeting, if not before, we should have somebody in here. We push it out, put it out there. The message should be how to make myself employable. Let people who cannot understand why they can't get a job come here and have a professional explain it to them. So the politics must take place at a branch meeting, because at the core of it, we are a political institution. But every single meeting should have something that takes somebody else forward, whether it be our own branch members, whether it be somebody our branch invited, or whether it be somebody else who heard and comes here to hear the message. We should have, if we don't do it before, the next branch meeting will have somebody explaining to people the big mistakes you make in going for a job interview. How to present yourself properly. What your CV should look like. What it should not look like. The dangers of social media. How do I disqualify myself looking for a job? I ask people their email addresses. When people come to me, I try to get as much information as I can. And somebody saying, but they sent out applications for a job. And they sent out and they went to interviews and they're not hearing back everything. But if your email address is Perky Nipple, I'm being so serious. You fill out the job application to an employer. On it is a space for email address, and you put down Perky Nipple, and you cannot understand why they didn't call you back. You will be real worried if they did call you back. Right? But that is something so simple that the person has no clue why they have not heard back. And it could be that. Employers now look at your social media. If I am looking to hire you, quite often the employer will track you down on Instagram and see what your posts look like. Look at your postings on Facebook. And they will make a decision based on how you presented at that interview and also what your social media looks like. If you see somebody who's skinning out everywhere, you want them to work in your bank? No. You can employ them to teach children? No. But it is these very, very simple things that people just don't understand. And we have to teach them. In the year of empowerment, by the time next year is done, everybody in Christchurch East who had a question to ask about employment, who had a question to ask about how do I take myself further, should have had an opportunity to have that question answered in person, at a clinic, and from a stage where somebody is talking to everybody else who cares. I asked everybody earlier, what do you want to see happen in your communities? And people gave me some answers. But for those who interact with the young people, and that is Arthur, that is Kwame and Dwight, that's Adrian, that's Mandy, right? For all the people, that's Kong. For all the people who interact with the young people, come and tell us what the complaints are, what people want to know, what they need help with, and let us adjust our program to accommodate them. Because every young person that we get into constructive employment is a young person who is not ending up before the courts or who has a better chance to advance themselves. For 24 years, I worked as a lawyer. For 24 years. I know what it's like to go in front of a judge and beg and explain why, although the person did the worst thing, why they should give that person a chance. I know what it's like to do that. I know what it's like to go to a magistrate and say, look, I know what they did, but you got to understand the family support system they have. You got to understand the support they have from the church. You got to understand this or that and beg as to why they should get the most lenient of sentences. No, I am no longer a lawyer. I need to do that in reverse. Before I have to speak for you in a court, let me speak to you face to face. Let me hear from you what it is that you want and that what you need to prevent you from turning right when you should go left. So I had a conversation with a number of my friends. I went 2 days ago to the Sandy Lane charity dinner. A big do, big affair. They raised, I'd be guessing, about $2 million. They had an auction going on there, and I was seeing people bid for things, and I was like shocked at the bids. And then the person said, after I don't want to talk too much of the business, but after somebody bid $100,000 for something, they said, please remember, these are US dollars. But Sandy Lane and them raised a couple $1 million. And they put up on a screen and they showed what it is that they have done in Barbados. They showed the people who had operations, the before and after. They showed children who were struggling and children who landed a job. They showed, it was sad, but it was also impressive. It was sad to see the befores, but it was impressive to see the afters. Why is it that Sandy Lane could do that for people in Barbados and we can't do it for ourselves? We can't look around our own communities and decide who are the people that need to be helped. We had talked this through already. I had talked this through with my wife, some of my close friends. I talked it through with Nadia. I am starting a fund this year. I am starting a fund. And the purpose of this fund is improvement and empowerment. This fund is not to help anybody build a house. This fund is not to help anybody go on vacation. This fund is not to sponsor whatever things people come asking for sponsorship for. This fund is not to help pave a road. At the clinic the other day, most of the people who came had no certification for anything at all. No certification at all. The fiercest competition in the job market is for the unskilled, uncertified job positions. Everybody wants those. If you are competing in that space, it is hard for you. There are thousands of people for every job. You slap a certification in there and a skill, all of a sudden, your competition becomes less. And the more qualified you get, the less competition you face. I have been, over the last couple of years, helping out people who want to do a CXC, who want to do a course, nail tech hair dressing course. I've been helping out people, but it's been in an unstructured way. When people come and ask you if you can, you pull your pocket and you try to pay something for them. Not this year. I am making a commitment. A commitment. As it stands now, I have pledges of about $10,000 for this account. 10 grand. So I could tell you safely that at this present moment, we have $10,000 for that. You see, all y'all looking at me, look at me hard. Because everybody in here who has a job, and who I know has a good job and getting a good salary, I am coming to ask you for money. Laugh. Go along. Laugh well. Laugh. Laugh. But I'm telling you this. I am coming to ask y'all for money. Everybody who I have helped to get a job, I am asking you to help somebody else. If you had nothing and you are now drawing something, then put something in that to help somebody else. I understand. Understand, this coming with strings attached. Because if I help you through this fund, understand there are strings attached. Because if I help you and you then land a job, then you need to put something in that fund to help the next fella. We have to do it together. There are a number of people here who got jobs with the debushing and got other jobs over the last 6 to 12 months. And I am pleased to say that it didn't take much pressure. Most people who have gotten something have given back already. Because when people say to me that they got this lot next to my house, or as an old person who can't get something to clean up around the place, right? Then I ask a favor and people go and do it. I tell you up front, I can't pay. I'm not going to abuse it. I ain't ask you to do something for me every week. I may ask you once a month. But when I ask you, do it. Remember where you were 6 to 12 months ago. I can tell you the Silver Sands Plan and Development Committee football team has actually been clearing and working with me. But the football team is one of the blessings to me so far since I came into politics. And I thank you all for that. But it is not just the Silver Sands football team. This can happen in every community, and it should happen in every single community across Barbados. Now, I want you all to spread the news. The fund that we're doing, Corrine, shame on you. Now the whole of Barbados knows it was your phone that was ringing. So, I want people to understand clearly what the fund is about, because you need to be able to explain to other people. If you have a ton of certificates, don't come to me. If you have 0 in the certificate or qualification column, come. I will help you. If I help you to sign up for a course, and understand, we are going to check these courses. You got to be doing something that yields you or gives you some certification that actually advances you somewhere. If it's cosmetology, it got to be somebody who's registered that you can put this up and start your business. Right? Let us start with Maths and English. I am happy to pay for anybody who does not have a CXC to do Maths and English at the O-Level Institute or at Foundation or whatever. So if you have no certificates and you come asking for help to do Maths and English, I tell you from now, I can help you. I will help you. This is to allow people to put something in the certificate column. I asked, the last 2 weeks was really instructive. It's been happening periodically, but there's been a flood over the last 2 weeks. You have young men who say, well, I would do anything. I said, my man, but you got any skills to do? He said, you know how to drive a bobcat or anything like that? No. Why not? I can't afford it. He said, you smoke weed? Say yes. I asked him, man, this is fact. I tell you a fact. I ain't call people's names, but I'm going to tell you facts. I asked the fellow, you smoke weed? He said yes. I said, how much you smoke a day? Maybe 3 or 4 times a day. So you're looking at $5, so I understand here. So I was told. You're looking at least $5 a time. So that's $15 a day by 7 days a week. Somebody help me. That's what? 75. So that's 70. That's 105. No problem. Let me call it $100. $100 a week, which is $400 a month. You know you don't have to pay. Any course you sign up for at Skills Training is probably less than the $400 a month. So if you left out the weed and do a course, and instead of putting on your CV, weed smoker, you put on your CV, bobcat driver, or caterpillar excavator driver, or something, certification in lawn maintenance and what was it, gardening. If you do that, imagine how much more marketable you would be spending your $400 to get some qualification for yourself instead of getting high for a whole month. Instead of getting high for a month. It's simple. I can tell you this. The person I had that conversation with left and went to sign up for skills training. Well, they're supposed to come back to me next week to let me know whether they got through and how much I need to pay for the evening course, right? But I was glad that sitting down and rationalizing it with somebody who was prepared to listen meant that they picked themselves up and went to skills training to try to get some certification driving a bobcat. That's me. I am one. Look at how many of y'all, they got a whole ton of people in here today. They're a full executive and a full branch. Bishop, a full church. We, the community leaders, because everybody in here is a community leader. We have to not be afraid to tell people you are going wrong and you are wasting your life. You need to not be afraid to actually engage in that conversation with him. Because, Kwame, if you bring somebody to me and say, Wilfred, this person ain't got a skill, they want to do something, you want to say nothing else? They ain't got proven. If you bring them to me and say you vouch for them, they got a course they want to do at skills training, I ain't asking nothing else. The next stop is writing a check to skills training and seeing that person get a chance. So the year of empowerment is not just about me. It's about y'all as well. You need to now look about in your communities and identify the vulnerable people and try to think, what can we do to help them? Death is very final. And the person that you pull off the block or that you shift away from badness might be the same person that, had you not done it, may have ended up killing you or somebody in your family. As I said, we got to help the people that we can help, right? And Barbados is a good place. Barbados is a blessed place. I don't want to live anywhere else other than Barbados. But I also cannot accept the Barbados that we are now coming to live in. It did not happen overnight. This version of Barbados that we keep hearing about in the newspapers or on the news media didn't happen in the last 12 months. This has been a steady progression over years. Over years. It has been caused by a breakdown in a lot of the social systems. It has been caused by a breakdown in a lot of the social safety nets. It has been caused by breakdowns in families. It has been caused by people not going to church. It has been caused by older people being afraid now to speak to younger people and direct them. It has been caused by that. I know I can embarrass somebody, but don't pan on the camera. Somebody in the back here, the other day was driving behind a car, and somebody threw something out of the car window. Y'all can look back. She back there and he say, no, next, you know. You can look. Don't turn the cameras, please. She followed that person, pulled up next to them, gave them a tongue lashing, explained to them how they're being a bad example to the child in the car. Found out it was the child who threw it out, and told the parent that by not correcting the child, they're still being a bad example. We now need to not keep quiet anymore. We have stayed quiet for too long, and it has not gotten us anywhere. People keep asking, why me? But why not you? If not me, then who? If not now, then when? The time for us to act is now, and it must be us acting. You have no control over anybody else. But we have sat back. Tell me the name. Anybody here could tell me the name of the person who got shot the other day in front of St. Albans? Probably not. A few. Tell me the name of the person who got shot before him. The person who got shot before them. We are now largely, but understand my point. We are now largely desensitized to it. You see it on the front page of the paper. You say, oh Lord, another one. And you flip to go inside. And you wipe that out. There's a funeral, a lot of people cry, then you hear nothing else about it at all. We have become desensitized as a people and as a country. And unless we do what it is that we can, for every young person that you have a chance to influence them. For every young person you have a chance to correct them. We are seeing the consequences of inaction. We are seeing the consequences of inaction by a negligent government before. And we are also seeing the consequences of inaction by communities that just don't care or are afraid to step in where we need to step in. So this is my call. This is my call. I'm calling out the churches. I'm calling out every MP. I'm calling out every community group. I'm calling out all the national organizations. I'm calling out all the sports teams. I'm calling out all the community organizations. All of us, our silence has been too long. Silence is consent. We, by our silence, have tacitly consented to what has been happening in Barbados. That is okay. Actually, it's not okay. But we draw the line. I want my branch, because I am going to unpick my teeth. Everybody I see doing wrong, I will have my say. If you curse me, you curse me. I know that I tried. If it is somebody that I'm young enough to influence, then I will influence them to do right. But I want my branch to be prepared to come on this journey in this year of empowerment with me and be prepared to do the same thing, starting with the people closest to you, starting with the people in your families, in your neighborhood, and in your communities. Do I have that commitment from you all? Yes. I want words that precede the actions. Do I have that commitment from you all? Yes. Let's try that one last time. I want people out there to hear that something going on, and then ask you all when you're leaving so you can start the topic. They open the topic, you can continue the dialogue. Do I have that commitment from you in Christchurch East? Yes! I feel good with that now. But it can't just be words. We have to position our young people and those that we care about to take opportunities when opportunities present themselves. I've spoken about the fund, the empowerment fund. But I also want, so the fund is separate. Understand, that fund is going to be there by itself. Every quarter, we are going to do a presentation to the branch of how much money we collected on that fund and how that fund was spent. And by the way, it's not just for us. So for all of you who belong to churches or belong to groups, help people to identify people. It's not a secret thing. There's not a secret thing within the Christchurch East branch. And to be honest, this is non-political. This is non-partisan. So I don't care if you come from a Dem household, what the other ones were? The other parties. I don't care who your family supported. I don't care. If there is somebody who can benefit from this and advance themselves, let us accommodate that person and help them. So talk to as many people as you can. The reality is, if the fund runs out, it runs out. But we were sure we made this and we spent this. And that would then show that there's a need for this fund and funds like it, and allow us to tackle bigger people and more people to get more money. So y'all know what y'all gotta do now, right? I want everybody of working age in Christchurch East to be able to have something on their CV that they can mark down as a certified skill. So let us do that. So, and the guarantee. Every red cent I get from the government to spend on the people of Christchurch East, I spend on the people of Christchurch East. Every red cent. Every single cent. I don't pocket a cent that's allocated for anybody to my own pocket. I want to spend all of the money that we have collected so far. As far as I'm concerned, that's not money for me to report to y'all next week or in a quarter that, you know, we had $10,000 today and this time we have $20,000 and we didn't spend a cent. I would like to report in a quarter, in 3 months from now, that every cent of that was spent and tell you what it was spent on. I might not call the people's names. If you have donated, you have a right to ask me to see the records, and I will show you the people who received. Right? Because we have to allow people to have the pride as well. Right? And have the privacy. But I want to spend every cent. So I'm asking y'all, identify for me, please, members of the branch. If you are not a member, you are here, somebody invited you, fine. You can get the contact information from the secretary. You can get contact information from my assistant, Nadia. Nadia, stand up. Nadia's the red lady with the red hair. Some say beautiful lady. But yes, you can get the contact information afterwards. Help me know to help other people. The only criteria with this, there has to be a limiting criteria, because we're raising this among Christchurch East people and for Christchurch East people. So you must come from Christchurch East. That is the only criteria. So Mandy, I need some names from you of people who have no skill and want to do something at skills training, right? Let them know what it is they want to do, and let's make life easy. But let us set about to empower ourselves and our people for 2020. 2020, the year of empowerment. The other thing we need to do is we need to have town hall meetings. So in addition, Ricardo, for us having generic skill sets at the branch meeting, non-political topics, we also don't need to have a branch meeting every single month. We do not need to have a branch meeting every single month, because realistically, all y'all in here that voted for me probably gonna vote for me again. You would not give up your Sunday to come here if you're not already supporting me. So I am preaching to the already converted. We now need to help wider than who is in here. So our business should be helping people. There's nothing, to be honest with you, there's nothing we discuss in a branch meeting that is of national security significance. There's nothing that's in here that's top secret. There's no reason why you can't invite people to come to a branch meeting. But invite the Dems. I would like to get a couple Dems in, because realistically, we won 30 seats. Let us not misunderstand what happened in Barbados last election. I believe there are 311 boxes in Barbados. I believe it's 311. I can't remember. It is up there somewhere. What I know is that all but 2 boxes in the whole country went to the Barbados Liberal Party. Only 2 boxes in the whole country did not come to a BLP candidate. And those were in St. John, so we forgive them. We forgive them. But the point is this. Last election was not about BRD. Last election was about Barbados. So for the people who I have heard lambasting me that I helped some old Dems, I don't know who voted for me. I'm assuming that 3 out of 4 people voted for me. So everywhere it comes in my office, I'm assuming that they helped me. Even if they didn't, I, Wilfred Abrams, am put here to represent the whole of Christchurch East, not just the people who voted for me. Well, no, I can tell you this. Even if he came to me and he was in need, I would probably help him. I mean, he might need the fund to get a certificate for something. So he would have some legitimate certification. And if he did come and he did say to me, I confess, I'm not qualified in anything, I say, let me help you, man. Get on my skills training, pick a skill, I will sort you out. But all joking aside, it is our duty to embrace every single person. We know people who don't traditionally vote for the Barbados Liberal Party who voted for us. We know people came into our office last election and some of us were suspicious of them. But some of them were as hard as or harder than anybody else. It is not this government, like Owen Arthur used to do before, and me is doing the same thing now. This government is about people and about Barbados. Having said that, if any of my people who supported me come to me and need assistance, I am going to try 10 times as hard to make sure you get sorted out. But equally, if I'm in a position to help anybody else, I gotta help them too. And y'all, my people, need to understand that. So, everybody, this is an exciting year. This is a year of the gathering. I would like some suggestions from you as to how we can do other things to make the gathering more significant for Christchurch and Christchurch East in particular. Now, I know this is not done yet, but I have an idea for a Silver Sands street party or a Parishland street party where we look to lock off a whole street. Not a carnival, lock off a whole street. Have a street jam, right? There are other ideas I have. I'm not going to put them out there because I need to give the committee the courtesy of putting them before the committee first. But equally, any of you who have an idea for your area, your community, please talk to us. Because if it is something I think is going to help to build the community spirit, or you can sell me on it, then I'm going to try to get sponsored for you and try to help you other ways. This is that year I put myself out there. The last 2 years, the last year and a half, have been mainly in my ministry. I know people have said that they didn't see me as much as they want. As you've indicated, Mandy, I accept that. But I've been working like a dog. I have been working like a dog without a break since election. Without a break. The Barbados Water Authority ain't easy. My ministry isn't easy. But my conscience is good. We're in a position where some things are going to start to happen very soon to take some of that day-to-day pressure off me, and we'll be able to do a lot more things in the communities and in the constituencies. But I need all of you to start feeding back to us what is necessary, because you know better than me what is necessary in your community or in your area. All right? The other thing I want, we need a recommitment from the box captains. All who know that they're box captains, please stay back after this meeting and let's have a quiet word, because we need to start back touching base with people, the direct contact with people, and doing things that are relevant in your boxes. If we don't have effective box captains in those boxes, then we need to start to put some in place, because the campaign for the next election starts now. It starts now. We're coming up to the end of 2 years. That is a significant date for us, because the major government policies are on the table, and you can be able to measure in some way what the government has done and the trajectory that the government is on. But we also need to measure in some way where we are in our community and what we have done and what it is that we still need to do. By the next election, we need to have made a difference, a significant difference in the life of every single person in Christchurch East. Done something in some way to make every person's life a little better, because that is what we're here for. Thank you. So I am prepared now to take any questions from the floor, and that includes the press. So you got it now? Ask what you want to ask. Yes, sir. No, if you don't want.
I commend you for the commitment to those who want to kill. What commitment will be made for those entrepreneurs within the constituency that are able to
participate? All help is welcome, right? Even if you are an entrepreneur in the constituency, in the community, who needs a hand, and you come and ask for a hand to push yourself a little further, I will do what I can to help you, because I am trying to accommodate everybody. If I don't help you, it's because I can't, and I'll explain to you why I can't, and then try to find somebody else to help you. But for everybody who I can assist, I am going to assist. The distinction I made is for that particular fund, right? If we don't have some criteria on it, it's going to drain real fast, and we're not going to get the people that we want to get on it. For that particular fund, that is to give people who do not have any certification, anything, something to give them an advantage while looking for a job. But the amount of people that we've helped so far, right? The amount of people that we've helped so far, being able to put them in touch with somebody who can give them a job, being able to send them to do something further, has been staggering, right? So we're there to help everybody. Let me just give you all one story, and I'll tell you why this is very, very important to me. I'm going to take the risk of giving this story because I know the person that well, and I don't think she would entirely mind my giving a story. 24 years ago, when I was working as a young lawyer, we had a maid in our office. I'm not going to call her name. We had a maid in our office. And I used to work really late. One day she came to me as I was preparing for a case. I was scrambling. I was trying to photocopy things, finish off my research, type my submissions, everything. And she came and said to me, I noticed that you have some stacks of things in the photocopying room. Do you want me to photocopy them for you? I said, wait, you don't use a photocopier? She said, it ain't brain surgery. I remember 24 years later, I remember that quote, it ain't brain surgery. And she photocopied the things for me. She used to come and work when the office was closed. So we ended up in there most evenings alone. She started photocopying. She started putting them together. She went from there to one day she pointed out to me something, a mistake in a letter that I had done. Right? She came, Mr. Abrams, there's a mistake here. And I said to her, what's your story? Why are you not further? You are one of the brightest people I've met. Why are you not any further? She said, I ain't got nothing. I said, you ain't got nothing. I said, you don't have any CXCs at all? She said, no, I have no CXCs. I said, nothing? She said, nothing. Before she came to us, she'd applied over and over everywhere for a job, and she could not get a foot in any door because she ain't had nothing and where people perceived that she came from. So I said to her, are you willing? The reason she did not have any certification, she was at foundation school and she got pregnant and had to drop out of school. And when she was going to go back again, she got pregnant again and couldn't go back. So she at the time had 3 children, no certification, nothing. Or 2 children. Anyway, 2 at the time. So I said to her, if I pay for you, you need at least master English. If I pay for you, will you do them? She was, but I don't think I can pay you back. I said, you don't have to pay me back. Pass. If you pass, it's on me. If you fail, you need to pay me back. She went and did the 2 CXCs and passed them well. I said to her, pick some more. She went and did more CXCs and then more CXCs. Then she went and did a course in management at BIMAC because she qualified to do the course by virtue of having the CXCs. Then I said to her, by this time she had been promoted from maid to office assistant to clerk. I said to her, when are you going to do the paralegal course? She was, Abrams, I can't afford that. I honestly can't afford it. I can't afford the time. I said, you get all the time you want. I called in a favor. And the person who was in charge of the course said to me, Abrams, she is short slightly on the qualifications. I'm going to put her in as a favor to you. I hope she does not embarrass me or you. I said, she won't. And she put her in as a favor. She came first in the paralegal course. So, what do you think is the next thing he said to her? Go and do law. You here reading all my stuff. You here doing all my stuff for me. I am teaching you things. Go and do law. I will help you. She went and did law and passed well. She then went on to law school and passed well. And you know what? When I had to leave to go into politics, I came out and left her in charge of my stuff. Because there is nobody that I trust more to do my work and to look out for my interests. Nobody I trust more than that same person. And all she needed was a chance. So if I did that for her, I understand she's loyal to me and I am loyal to her. If I did that for her, there's no reason that we can't start that process for other people in our communities and in this constituency. So you want to know why I'm doing it? That's why I'm doing it. Because everybody deserves a chance. If you mess up your chance, or you play the fool with it, that's your business. I ain't got no time for you. I started by saying, I ain't got time for people who wasting my time. You remember that? If I give you a chance and you don't take full advantage of that chance, that's your business. I done with you. Don't check back to me. But if you actually do something with it, then I will try to help you to take the next step and the next step and the next step. Because I am not threatened by people coming. I want everybody. By the time we leave, by the time we done this, by the time we walk away from this, right? I want to look around and see no violence in Christchurch East. I want to look around and see a lot of the youngsters that I help in business and employing other people. I want to see people that we assisted making a difference to other people. That's what I want to see. And we can do it, We can do it. And that's why we are now here as a government with a 30-0. Sorry. It was 30-0 at the time. A 29-1 majority. Because the slogan was Mia Cares. And people can understand and see from what has been happening in Barbados that Mia cares. But let y'all know something. Mia cares. Wilfred Abrams cares too. Yeah. And you remember our slogan? What was our slogan? I got your back. I have your back. Next question. Mm-hmm. Talk to Daisy, talk to Nadia, right? You can make the donation. I will advise you how to do it, but you can make the donation and we will give you an account. Anybody who donated at any point in time has the right to see what the balance on that account is and also see who we apply the money to so that you know that the money is being well spent. So after the meeting, we will put it out there. By the next meeting, we should be able to tell you all the details on it and be able to give some full particulars of how anybody else could contribute. Because I'm not just limited to Christchurch East. It's somebody from St. Philip, St. Lucie, wherever, overseas, want to send money, send it, we can spend it. Yes, Ian?
That's what I was going to ask. When is the launch of the fund? And also, is there a specific bank account number or does it take back to the account for the donations have a name or what happens?
All right, we're going to get all of that. Right now, it was me talking to specific people and asking for donations, right? So we have the commitments for the $10,000, and it's solid commitments. So we're going to put the other things in place because and we're going to make it transparent. I'm going to push it out there. I am just advising my branch what it is that we have planned. When it's time to do a full launch of the idea, then we will do it. But I let you know that as it stands now, feel free to start to send people. Feel free. Even while we get the full launch going and the full details work out, we have the commitment for the 10 grand. So feel free to start to identify people who can benefit from SAN certification. Next question. Yes, Mandy. I think there's a general regathering calendar that has been widely circulated. I honestly don't know, but I can check for you. But I can actually make that suggestion for you. But I know it is circulated, or there are people from overseas have accessed it. We have a number of commitments for events and people coming in for the year. But we have not settled specific events, I think, as far down as October, which is us. No, the fund is entirely separate. Actually, yeah, okay. Good point, Mandy. Good point. Yeah, y'all, let's look to get that connected with October. Okay. Thank you very much, Mandy. Anybody else?
Yes, another question, more of a comment.
Mm-hmm.
The address this afternoon resonates well with me. I hinted right to you as well as the executive that this year I want to be out thinking a lot, but full time.
Mm-hmm.
Because I shared with them then that I have what they call a burden for
Mm-hmm.
that's what it should say. So what we said this afternoon was next well, more in line in keeping with what I think
Mm-hmm.
and what I myself want to do and I will assist with the whole program going forward.
Thank you very much, Ron.
Thanks for sharing with us your thoughts because of what we need to do as a community to share with our people what we have, what our skills, our abilities, our talents, everything we have with our people.
Yeah, fair enough. I understand y'all. Here again, we going serious on the social media thing from now. I'm trying to rationalize all my accounts and whatever. We're going serious on it. So spread the word as to how to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. 1 second, Corinne.
I would like to introduce Antonio,
Mm-hmm.
who is responsible for the Facebook page for the gathering. So, and he has a calendar for October, so if he wants to speak to Mandy, no problem.
Okay. All right. So Mandy, this is Antonio. Antonio, stand up. Right. So Antonio is the man, the point man with the Gathering Facebook page. So for Christ Church, for Christ Church. Anybody else?
This is just an offer. I like the idea of the town hall meetings because it is inclusive of everybody. What I would suggest though is that I had, during the election campaign, I had done telephone calling, as you know, to communicate with people. And for the town hall meetings, I am volunteering and I can surely put in some other people to do the telephone calls along with the flyers. For the Christmas party, we did a lot of that kind of advertisement, which is what probably brought so many people. In addition to that, as long as I am the chair by Church Foundation School, we have a beautiful hall. All you have to do is to pay the insurance.
No problem.
For the event. After that, the hall is, there's going to be no charge for the hall.
Appreciate that, Daisy.
Right, and the seating, we are trying to upgrade our seating, so you may or may not still have to bring in chairs depending on how many people. I don't suspect you will.
But if we do a town hall meeting, chances are we won't just do it to Christ Church East. We would do it for the whole of Christ Church.
Okay.
So it is also time that the different constituencies start to have meetings together.
Together because
Yeah.
Medic's constituency.
Yeah.
The school is actually in his constituency.
Okay.
So it could be a badge.
Yes, sir.
I just want to make a comment.
Mm-hmm.
I know that only Christ Church season and October is for Christ Church, but what I would like to encourage those encourage those who are actually entrepreneurs to start to prepare themselves for October, not wait for October to
Yeah.
start trying to prepare themselves. And what you really want to do is actually have your entrepreneurs ready for export possibilities because persons have an aim on to see a product and want to be able to actually buy your product also before your product is actually I want to encourage you folks to get your entrepreneurs ready. Call on the trust fund and we come up and we do training to try to help persons to get ready for that event.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any other? Yes, Bishop.
Just one quick question. Is there going to be a more process for the persons who attend these courses? You sign up some person for skills training. Is it going to be a part of the final that you attend the courses?
Yes, yes. And at the end of, if I know your course is 3 months, at the end of it, you need to come and show me your certificate. If I don't see you back with a certificate, I will assume you did not complete or whatever. If something happens in there, we're gonna talk to the people who sign up for these things. If you have a difficulty in there, if your child sick, if something goes wrong, then let us know. We can work with you, right? It's not there to punish you. I just have no time for time wasters. But if somebody has a genuine difficulty, we'll work with you because at the end of the day, it's not to prove a point. It's actually to help you get qualified to do something. And for those who don't know, can I introduce you? Or this is Bishop Marlon Jones from Mount Pisgah Spiritual Baptist Church. So please let's recognize the bishop. Yes. Anybody else? Going once, going twice. Thank you all very much. And I just want to say Happy New Year to everybody. And remember, 2020 is a year for regathering nationally, but in Christchurch East, it is a year of empowerment. Thank you.